Hello everyone, I am Fonkara, and today we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Making steady progress on getting the hair for the right angle done. And I think today I want to work a little bit on the left side. Just arbitrary whim, and I am embracing it. Much as I've been doing everything on the left side lately, that being her left, I don't know, I just feel like going over to the other side for a little while. See what I can do. I'll just start with this little highlight right here. I think most of the stuff around here is in the right place, but just a few areas here and there that I think I can make look a little bit nicer. And that little piece of highlight kind of felt like it was shifting downward a little bit. Although with that movement, I definitely overcompensated. Now it's going a little bit too high. I think it still might be, actually. Yeah, definitely. Just a little, though. So I can probably do some fairly gentle movements to just guide it into place. Let it get where it needs to go. There we go. And then I know some of what I'm seeing here is just some stuff from the layer below here kind of squirming around. So I might have to get some of that before I can completely finish this area. But for now, I'm just gonna poke out where I feel like it. Just, I don't know, have some fun. Try not to think about it too hard. Eliminate any kind of thoughts that I should be doing a certain area or something like that. Just go where my brain feels like going today. It's not really a problem. I have to get it all eventually anyway, so why not do some of these areas that I just happen to feel like doing right now? I do think I will hide this for a little bit just so I can get a better look at what's going on with everything over here. Because until now I was mostly focused on what was going on up here. But I think I have that looking pretty good overall. Maybe just a couple of minor tweaks necessary here and there, but I guess I can get those first. Oh yeah, let's do some of those small tweaks here and there that I probably need to do. I get the top totally right. I have, after all, been having great luck starting from the root of each of these strands and working my way downward. So, let's do that. You can see here, based on this little piece that's jutting out there, that looks like it's shifting upward quite considerably. Let's take it on down. There we go. I'll try that. Looks like I need to do a bit more. It was kind of funny when I logged in this morning. I see we're getting an Insatiable Fiesta rerun along with a Lady Pearl banner at the same time, and I'm just like, well, that's quite a combo. We'll say Cabernet's event was maybe not my favorite, but it was pretty okay. It was pretty entertaining. It certainly had its moments. And I rather enjoyed Kelvin in it. I thought she was pretty cute. Very much doing her best. go. Alright. Seems to be a little bit better. Cabernet is admittedly one of the more interesting sinners to me, just because a lot of them kind of have redeemable qualities, and she really doesn't. She really is just kind of just generally terrible, and I think it's great. She's hilarious. Just doing what she wants. No matter how nasty it is. Definitely a great character design too. The way her hair contrasts with everything else is really nice. The bright red against that blue is very pretty, I think. I really do enjoy the character designs from that game. They have a lot of stuff that I want, and that that I like, and that they're generally not like overly complicated, overly reliant on patterns and that kind of thing. Just very simple and elegant, and just perfect. I mean, even the ones that do have complicated patterns, like Lady Pearl, they do it in a way that I more enjoy, as opposed to just sticking them everywhere, just putting them in very key places. And also not trying too hard to be asymmetrical or some of this other stuff that I see a lot in anime character design. Don't feel the need to add 50 million belts to everything. Stuff like that. I do tend to prefer simpler designs myself. Which is part of why I think I was drawn to Shalom's character design. Hers is pretty simple, you know, the kind of thing that I could actually see people wearing. And while I don't think that all character design in fiction needs to go for that kind of aesthetic, I think it works really well for her. Like, I don't think most people would go outside dressing like Cabernet or Lady Pearl, but I think their character designs are still pretty good. Lady Pearl's hat is very excellent. Greatly enjoy that kind of hat. And it's probably not the kind of thing that you'd actually see people wear. At least not in modern times. Just different aspects of character design, and I think all of it is very interesting. I like seeing what a lot of these games are doing. I don't tend to be a huge fan of gacha stuff, but that is the one thing that I appreciate, is that they tend to have lots and lots of characters, and the characters are the main selling point, so they put lots of effort into making them great. So I get to see this huge variety of character design and people going really hard on it. And it's a lot of fun. Sometimes I'll even look at games I don't play just to see what kind of characters they have, and I kind of like doing that. I haven't done it recently, but in the past it has been a lot of fun to see what people like and what people make, what really resonates with them. Because I do think that's part of making effective character designs. Like, you can talk about shapes and silhouettes and all that stuff all you want, and those are very important, don't get me wrong. But the most important thing is that it ultimately resonates with the people that look at it. And seeing which ones are more effective and which ones are less effective, and which ones people draw lots of fan art for and which ones people don't. I think it's all very, very interesting. Something I've been thinking about a little lately. Of just, what makes characters appeal to people, both in terms of design and just in general. Because when it comes to just the sheer amount of fan art out there, Shalom definitely has pretty up there. Probably one of the highest amounts in the fandom that I've seen. Like if I just log onto Twitter or Reddit and scroll through and see what's there, odds are I'm going to see a little bit of her. Whereas I don't really see that kind of same guarantee with any of the other characters. Shalom, and Rahu, and probably Zoya are probably the ones I see the most. And in terms of just, I don't know, like I really like Shalom's character design, but I'm not sure hers is the best in the game here. Because I mean, there is a ton of like really strong ones. So this is definitely not knocking her design at all. It's fantastic. It's just there's a lot of really fantastic ones. So I'd been wondering why her specifically. Because it's like, in terms of design, hers is strong. Probably not the best, but definitely strong. And in terms of, I don't know, raw, like this character is pretty or sexy or whatever else, I think she's actually pretty mid compared to a lot of the other characters out there. Like, definitely very pretty, but I mean, there's a lot of really pretty characters in this game. So I'm assuming that a lot of her popularity just comes from her storyline, which I do absolutely think is one of the strongest. That, and she's obviously extremely strong in battle, which I do think helps. Being meta helps, definitely. Because otherwise, it's like if it was just the strength of the storyline, I think I'd see a lot more Serpent art. Because I think Serpent's event was one of the better ones. But I do think that Serpent's design appeal is a little bit more niche. People aren't quite as into clown girls, I guess. So this is my rambling analysis on why Shalom, I think Shalom is popular. I'm not sure how much of that stream of consciousness made sense, but all in all, I do think it's a combination of solid enough design mixed with a fairly unique take on her character archetype, coupled with a very strong story. Like, man, I remember when I read... Oh, what... Man, I can never remember these chapter numbers anymore. But, and I try to avoid talking about spoilers too much, but when X first showed up, I guess I'll leave it at that. And everything that went down there, it's like... that was very much a holy shit moment. I was very surprised and very sad that the chapter was ending, and that I was gonna have to wait a long time before I saw what happens next. So, yes. Lots of strong character writing when it comes to her. And I was also thinking about Lady Pearl's event this morning, once I saw that she was getting a banner rerun. And that one honestly made me a bit sad. Not so much because of the contents, but because it was doing some really cool experimental stuff. But the overall plot and all that just didn't quite hit for me. It didn't really go into why Pearl was doing any of the stuff that she was doing or what she was hoping to accomplish. It played a little bit too hard into the musical theater end without actually going in depth onto her character. Like, she was barely there at all. And I thought that was a bit sad. It felt like it was more the Luvia Ray event than it was the Lady Pearl event. So I kind of hope that she shows up somewhere a little bit later. Just so we can learn a little bit more about her. Currently her character feels a little bit undeveloped compared to most of the other ones. I have not read her interrogation yet though, so maybe that fleshes her out a bit more. I really need to get around to reading some of those. The main thing stopping me is that the writing quality in the interrogations is very hit or miss. A lot of them are really good, but some of them are I honestly found quite boring. I guess that's kind of how it goes when you are doing a game with continuous updates. It's pretty hard to have consistently super high quality all the time when you have to release something every couple of months. Means you don't have a lot of time to write it. Well, there's only so much you can do. I think it's kind of a shame. That's why overall I have mixed feelings about software as a service models and all that stuff. I think people can underestimate how difficult it is to have consistent levels of creativity. It's pretty rough, honestly. I say this as somebody that draws every day and does an art stream every day. Some days I am feeling better than others. But even if I'm not feeling great, I'm still gonna stream. And the quality of the stream will just not be as high that day. And that's just how it works out. That's why it's not up to like Dreamy Bubble or Flora Unfurl levels of quality all the time. And I don't think it's really reasonable to expect that, as, I mean, seriously, the writing of those was absolutely fantastic. And it takes time to develop storylines like that, lots of editing, lots of trying things. It's pretty hard. Gotta cut the creators some slack. But it makes me happy, because even the ones that are just kind of mid, like Pearl's event, I thought it was still pretty cool, and the kind of experimental stuff that they did with it was pretty neat. Some of the musical theater shenanigans. It was pretty cool. I used to do some musical theater stuff in high school. I was never great at singing, so I never actually was able to land a role, but the teacher did make me an assistant director once, and that was a pretty cool experience. So I got to help out behind the scenes. That was pretty cool. I'm glad I got to do that. And it was just on the high school level, so nothing super special or anything, but it was still a pretty cool experience. So let's see here. Just been slowly but surely going down the strand here. Just gonna try to fix some of these issues here. I think I fixed most of the issues up at the top. Now it's just a matter of making my way down the strand. All the way down the strand. So I'll start with this little, I don't know, strand coming out here. See what I can do with it. It's in kind of a weird spot. I'm just trying to match the angle a little bit better than it was before. There might only be so much I can do here. We shall see. We shall see. I can at least try. Because I kind of have to pay attention to the edge here, and this line does eventually collide with the vertices over here. So to an extent, I have to keep the end of this, where it's a little bit gray-blue here, in line with everything over here. Otherwise it's going to get crunchy and look weird. But I will try to kind of get everything in a good spot. We will see what I can do with it. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better than it was. Just kind of fixed up the angle a little bit. I think it needs a little bit more fixing up near the top here. So let's go. Try to fix up that angle just a little bit. Get it going a little bit more to this direction here. And I want to avoid moving the highlights up here as much as I can. Still need to clean that up, but I want to check it. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. It is all shifting downward a bit though. So let's slide it on up before I start cleaning it up. In fact, hopefully sliding it on up will help clean it up a little bit for me. That'd be nice. I just saw some shifting near the bottom there, and I wanted to try to fix that. Try to keep all that shifting to a minimum. Alright, we're getting somewhere, I think. Getting somewhere indeed. Let's try to get this transition from the red to the white all correct. Not quite. Not quite. I want to get this a little bit less crunchy though. It's like I'm not too focused on cleaning it up, but I don't want it to be like super ugly because that would be super distracting. Okay, I think that's okay. There is some slight shifting to the right, I feel like, but I think that's kind of unavoidable because I'm making that strand so much thicker. So I think this looks pretty good. The only thing I have even a little bit of interest in fixing is this little guy right there. So So I will try to smooth things out in a way that makes that strand the shape I want it to be. And I kind of wanted him to go a little bit more up. Which it looks like I can get away with, because this looks fine. It's a little bit hard to see with all the vertices, but from what I can tell, this looks totally fine. Yeah, definitely looks totally fine. I think that looks pretty nice. Just going to try to clean up some of the shifting I'm seeing here. Still looks like it's shifting downward a bit. I want to correct that just a little bit. Try to clean up all those little mistakes. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. Made a lot of progress while I was just going through and rambling about random characters. I'm not actually sure how much any of that made sense, but it was a vague stream of consciousness of stuff that was on my mind. One thing that I do think is kind of funny, though, is that I feel like every game that is even a little bit edgy will always have a cannibalism arc. I just think it's always funny how that works out. I'm not sure what it is about cannibalism that is so ingrained in the human psyche, but I feel like it's always there. Alright, I do think this upper part is looking pretty good now. Maybe just a slight shift right here that I want to get rid of. But at this point, it's a pretty small detail. It's just a teeny tiny little shift. Just a little one. And just send them a bit higher, and it should be fine. Yeah. Alright, so I can just keep working my way down this strand. Yeah, I think I'll do that before I do fix this funny bald spot that I've been leaving this entire time so I could see what I was doing. I'll just go ahead and finish this lower part too. So what I see here is that this highlight here is being lowered. So we'll just go on and raise all this stuff up. And lift everything up. Something like that. Is it in the right place now? Because once it's in the right place, then I can kind of worry about making everything clean and getting everything around it good. But I still think it's not quite in the right spot. Looks like it's a little bit too high now. Just overdid it when I started raising everything up like that. And here I see the shifting kind of on the outside here and it's bothering me, so I want to just kind of push it up a little bit. This is why it stops that. Yeah, there we go. It's a little better. Alright, so what are the key points in this highlight? I feel like it's up here, right here, and up here. So those are the points that I'm looking at to make sure everything's kind of in the right spot. There's a few more, but those are the big ones. So let's see here. Just gonna very carefully adjust some things around here. Try to get everything kind of looping the right way and all that good stuff. And then I'll go back to adjusting the key points of this highlight. Okay, so right here is definitely going upward. That's a pretty easy spot to see, so spend some time with him. See what I can do for him. Make his existence a happy one. So he can be exactly where he wants to go. It does still feel like it's growing upward to me. Very much so. So let's try to pull it down just a little bit. You can see this is where all of my movements are getting very delicate again. So I don't think things need to move that much. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, but my brain's changed its mind and wants to go look somewhere else now. So let's go look back at this area. There were a lot of things around here that were not quite right. And I want to take another look at it all. I especially see it just like right up there. I think I might actually hide this for a second. So now we have a completely different hairstyle. That's an interesting thought. Going for the half-shaved millennial look. Let's go. Let's just clean some of this up, because I think if I get rid of some of the distortion, it'll give me a hint as to where everything wants to be. Because right now the distortion is very, very high. Okay, but that's a little bit better now. Let's see how we're looking. Let's get rid of the silly half-shaved millennial look. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. My eyes already kind of feel like they're getting tired, though. So we shall see how long I can do some intense staring. Or if there's some big picture stuff that I can get done, maybe. Or I might just jump around every 5 minutes. Who knows? It's not important. I have to get everything eventually, so I can do what I want. I can figure it out as I please. That is one nice thing about art. Process may matter, but there's an infinite number of them. And mine, basically, I ask myself, what part do I feel like doing today? And that's what I do. Doesn't always have to match up 100% with what I did last time, or with what I normally do even. I can just roll with it. Not worry about it. Let my brain have some fun. Art should be fun after all. I think even if you do art professionally, if you ever lose that spark of finding art fun, and you just no longer find it fun, I think people like that will probably struggle to continue doing art professionally. Creativity is hard. Art is hard. And it's pretty hard to produce when you're just not feeling it. Alright, getting there. This is already looking significantly better, I think. So yeah, I think the rest of today is probably just going to be me going around, poking areas, seeing what happens. Because I think my brain is already extremely tired. Insomnia is the worst, man. About the only thing worse than insomnia is the weather. Because I'm not sure if it was heavy rain or hail because I was trying to sleep. But it woke me up and I was very sad. I had a hard time getting back to sleep. A really, really hard time. It was rough. It's pretty normal though. If I get woken up, I always have a hard time falling back asleep. And I've had problems with insomnia since I was like 8, so it's okay. I'm used to it. I'll be able to get through the day. I'm not at my best for art purposes. It's okay. I've said it before that not every day can be a great art day. But even on days that aren't great art days, there's still stuff I can do. So I think, like, we talk about healthy habits for making sure that you're able to, like, do things like work and all that, but we don't really talk about it for creativity. We talk about creativity like it's something that just happens. You just randomly get inspired, get a great shower thought or whatever else, and I'm like, no, you can cultivate creativity too. It doesn't have to be random. It's only going to be random if you let it be. But you can cultivate the same kind of habits, so this way you can be creative whenever you want. It's like there will still be good days and bad days, of course. Just like there is with literally anything you do. But you can see, I'm still here. Today. Getting stuff done. Even though I got maybe 5 hours of sleep. And I'm here today. Talking about things that interest me within Path to Nowhere. And things that I've been thinking about and all the character events. And maybe I make sense, maybe I don't. I don't know. But it's okay. Because I'm here. Saying the ideas. Clarifying them in my head. And even if I'm not making much sense today, and even if I don't make as much progress as I would otherwise want to today, it's still more than it would be if I didn't do it at all. And next time I think about Path to Nowhere stuff, I'll have those thoughts on those characters and their designs and everything else that interests me all in my head. Stronger than it was before because I put it into words. Words are pretty magical like that. Honestly, it's absolutely true. There's been a few times where I've been really stuck on like some storytelling aspect of some stuff that I've wanted to write, and I just said, you know what? Let's just write some stuff down. I'm just gonna talk to myself. I'm gonna ramble like you wouldn't believe. Just pure stream of consciousness onto the page. And I actually get a lot done. I often get past my hurdles and stuff that I've been sitting on for a long time, just struggling to work through. And after an hour of just rambling to nothing, just literally talking to myself, but where I actually write the words instead of just thinking about them, and I will very often figure out whatever I was having trouble with, and I'll be able to move on. Like, I don't even have to be feeling good for that. Just ramble. I do it less like that for drawing and art stuff, just because I have other ways I explore there. Like, the biggest one, if you do watch the streams, that I just try stuff. I just grab something and I'm just like, that seems like an okay idea, let's try it and see what happens. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But either way, it gives me an idea. So that tends to be how I approach art as opposed to writing. I very rarely do stream of consciousness word dialogue with myself for visual art. And I mostly stick to the written word. This is also another area where I think role-playing is very useful. If you can actually make yourself play consistently. Whether that be in a more tabletop-oriented group, like where you play like Dungeons and Dragons or something, where you actually meet either weekly or bi-weekly or something. Or my preferred medium, just play by post on forums. And the trouble there is that people seem to struggle with the consistency, where, you know, there'll be times where they really, really, really want to write, and they'll post a lot and all that stuff, and then life gets hard, and it's like, I don't really feel like it today, and then suddenly everyone stops posting and nothing happens anymore, and it's very sad. But it's like, I think that stuff like that, where you have people holding you accountable and people waiting on you, is a good way to kind of force yourself to be creative consistently, if you're willing to put in the effort to actually doing that, and if the people that you're playing with are as well. That's kind of my struggle right now, but because yeah, that means that there's, you know, another person there holding you accountable, and you also get some of that instant hit of dopamine and validation, because there will be people there replying and interacting with what you're doing, as opposed to, you know, like what I'm doing here, we're just screaming into the void and hoping that people hear me. And so that can feel good too, and I've found it's a good way to develop characters and kind of see how they act. It's a good time. If you find people that play. That is always the struggle. But even if you don't do any of that, just forcing yourself to do a little bit is very, very good. There's just have a time of day where it's like, this is creative time. This is when I come and try to draw something, or write something, or code something. Or, I don't know, sing. Whatever you like to do. That's how you'll get better. That's how you'll actually make stuff. If you don't do it, it's not going to get made, and you're not always going to feel like it, and it's not always going to cooperate with you. But that's okay. Because some progress is better than no progress. Always. Just do your best. Just do your best, and try to make it happen. As opposed to simply letting it happen. I think that's the difference. It's the difference between somebody that finishes their pictures or finishes their book or whatever else they happen to be working on, and someone that doesn't is the person that finishes the picture and the book or anything else actually works on it. You do need a degree of consistency to actually finish things. And if you just wait for the days that you're inspired or not tired or when you just feel like it or any of that, it's never going to happen. It's just not. It's like I'm sure there will be some days where you're just like, heck yeah, I really want to work on the thing now. I get those days. Those days are awesome. So awesome. Definitely embrace those days anytime you get them. But then there will also be days where you're tired, you got 5 hours of sleep, and things just aren't going your way. And that's normal. But you still gotta do the thing if you want it to be finished. Otherwise, it'll never be finished. So go do it. If you have a thing that you've been putting off and have been because you're tired or you feel like watching YouTube or whatever else, nah. Stop it. Go work on it. Right now. Stop watching me. Stop watching me and go work on it. It's more important. Or if you like, have me out of the background and go work on it. That works too. The important part is that you just go do it. No excuses. Just do it. Alright. Throughout all that, I've made some progress on this strand. Way more than I expected, honestly. I think it's actually starting to look pretty good. Yeah, I am pretty happy with it. So what do I feel like poking at now? I still have like 15 more minutes. And my brain is fading fast. Doesn't know what's going on at all anymore. But here I am, just trying to do super detailed oriented work. Man, tomorrow's gonna be interesting, isn't it? What will the me of tomorrow see? Fortunately, I don't think I've made too many mistakes, but who knows? Hopefully it's all good. I'm not trying to make your life hard, me of tomorrow, I promise. I'm just doing my best. So I hope it's good, and I hope it's something you can work with. And I hope you don't have to make too many corrections. Alright, I guess we'll revisit this strand now that I have a lot of the stuff over here looking pretty good. It might be a little bit easier to work with now. I'm not sure. Probably doesn't matter that much. I think anything that I work on right now is going to be hard. That's just how it is when you don't sleep, you know? It's alright, I got this. I totally got this. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. I don't know, something like this maybe. Right now this part right here just looks really wrinkly, and I think it still looks really wrinkly. Reminds me of why I wanted to go work somewhere else for a little while. Okay. Let's go in there and really figure out how these vertices work. See if I can't get anything looking good here. I believe in me. I know it doesn't always sound like it, but I really do. I really do believe in me. If nothing else, I believe in the sheer persistence that I possess. That I just never give up. Even when I should. Just doesn't happen. Until I'm like dying on the floor. Sometimes it causes me problems, but I think overall it's a positive trait. And just being able to go and go and go forever. See, I'm embracing our human heritage of back when we would just follow animals until they just got sick of running away and just died. And that's how humans hunted in the olden days. It wasn't about being strong or fast or smart, it was just being annoying and never giving up. I can appreciate it. Thank you for passing on these traits to me, ancestors. I don't really need it to make food anymore because we've figured out other ways to make food. But I will use that persistence to make other cool things. Honestly, I kind of wish our ancestors could see some of the cool stuff we're doing. Granted, I think some of them would just call us witches and be very concerned, but it's okay. It's not witchcraft, it's just several thousand years of human experience all put together, with one human figuring out one thing and then another one figuring out another thing, and just constantly building until we just have this big behemoth of information that nobody can go through anymore. I'm wondering what some of these people's taste in character design would be. You know, the humans of like 2,000 years ago, or even 3,000 years ago. Kind of funny to think about. Now I'm wondering if people from ye olden days ever drew like costume designs that would be completely impossible to wear and were never meant to be worn but just looked really cool. Don't actually know that much about art history. I was thinking about studying it a little bit harder, but just to learn a thing or two. I think it's good to have that kind of perspective as an artist. And hey, it'll give me another thing to talk about here. I doubt I'll ever go super hard on it, but a little bit of perspective can't hurt. Just how people thought and some of the stories behind famous works of art and stuff like that. That sounds pretty cool. Okay. Now I kind of have to figure out what I'm going to do with this tip here. Because it's just a big ol' mess. Alright, I think I have to get this overall shape done before I can do anything else. So let's try to figure out how this should floof. Floof for me, little hair. Show me what you got. one of those cases where don't know what to expect. I'm just trying things. And I'm probably way too tired to do this properly. Maybe I should go look for somewhere else for a little while. I made a little bit more progress here. Let's go work over here now. Because there were some things bothering me around this strand here, so let's go take a look at them. Let's go do some intense staring. I'll work on this for like 5 minutes and then I'm gonna eat some food and probably take a nap. I may or may not take a nap. We'll see how well the caffeine and walk does to keep me awake. Because right now I mostly feel weird as opposed to like I want to fall over. Believe it or not, considering I'm having even more trouble finding my layers than usual. This one? Okay, cool. Found it. It was just waiting for me to complain. I think computers do that on purpose sometimes. Although I guess this time it wasn't the computer's fault. It was just my fault. Does my brain just wait for me to complain sometimes? I will have to test that. It's like if I complain enough, does my brain just suddenly find it or figure it out or whatever it is? I will have to test that and find out, because that sounds amusing. I could totally believe my brain would do something like that. My brain's a troll. He was trying to convince me to do things that I didn't know were bad ideas. Like eating cake. But it's so good, man. That's why my brain keeps convincing me to do it. Cake is too yummy. And thus, I am easily persuaded. It's okay. I can keep it in line enough to let me kind of indulge a bit around my birthday and Christmas and stuff. The times where you're supposed to eat sweets. Here we are. Okay, we're gonna have funny bald spot again. While I try to figure out what's going on here. I do think I have most of the top good. Just kind of right around this dark area, this light area right here. And I can never seem to get quite right. Let me try to get them into the right vertical position at least. I think from there, I should be able to figure out the rest a little bit more easily, maybe. How did the angles here look? Okay, so yes, I could afford to pull things this way a little bit more. Yeah, it still looks like it's going up a little bit. But I do think I'm closer. Oh. And slipped. Like I only wanted it to move a few pixels. Didn't want to move all the way down there. Okay, now how about you? How about you? What do you want to be doing here? What is your purpose in life? It's okay, little strand. I'm not sure either. It can take a long time to figure that kind of thing out. Don't worry about it. But we'll at least get you into a good place to get you started. It's a little bit better, I think, maybe. Is that shifting? Yeah. I was wondering if the shifting was on this layer or the other one, and it does appear to be on this one, so let's just move these vertices a little bit upward. That's a little bit better. No, not you. You. There we go. Alright, well I do feel like I'm getting somewhere. And I think I made a lot of progress today, despite my crippling insomnia. So, I'll take it. I'm getting there. I think I should be able to finish this week. Then we can go start the downhead turn and make this look less ridiculous. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I shall end it there for today. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.